What's going on, team? It's Ricky with TechBud Solutions, and today I have the man, the myth, the legend, Ismail, and a lot of you guys have been requesting for him to be featured in another video. We made a very similar video to this where we were talking about some of his day trades, and you guys absolutely loved it just because it puts it in a perspective of someone that is just getting started. Ismail, yesterday we were just talking very briefly, and he was talking to me about the top really 2 to 3 stocks that he was paying attention to, and I thought it would be pretty interesting for him to just share what he sees value in and how he sees value in them, how he plans to swing trade them with his overall swing trade plan. One of the things that I want you guys to know is the thing that I really like about Ismail is that he's not even trading the stocks or ETFs that I'm personally trading. He has gone and again focused on whatever he personally sees value in. So throughout this entire video, I want to make sure that we only encourage you and empower you to pursue and trade or invest in whatever it is that you see value in. You should never have to be convinced that something is better than something else, right? If you personally see value in ETFs, in tech, right, in bioscience, and whatever the case might be, in industrial or banking, I just want to make sure that you actually understand what you're getting yourself into, that you have structure, which I think is one of the biggest areas of opportunity for beginners that are just getting started. And you guys can let me know in the comment section, because a lot of beginners, when they're just getting started, they lack structure. They don't understand, the importance of a plan. They don't understand the importance that every trade does not go according to plan, and there has to be a plan B, therefore a form of risk management or stop loss. So I want Ismail in this video to talk about first the top 2 stocks that we talked about yesterday, and then I want you to talk about the one that we briefly discussed right before we started filming this video. So I'm going to let him take on over, and I actually want you to search it up on this one. Okay. So the first one is going to be
UAA, Under Armour.
Okay, so first explain to me how you even found, why is this one that you are considering? I know, I'm pretty sure I know why.
So the way I found this one is I was just really looking at stocks or companies that are not publicly traded, and I was thinking what do I wear a lot, or I wouldn't even say that. It was just I'm into sports, so I'm
soccer specifically, and this is why I knew, because I knew as soon as he told me that he was looking into Under Armour, this was a company that I'm sure one of the players that you potentially pay attention to is probably sponsored by them, and that just encouraged you to look into them, right? It's already a company that obviously is a credible company, and why not put your money in something that you already see value? So I love that right away.
So I started with honestly it was Nike and Adidas, because I wear a lot of that, and then I was thinking, okay, besides those, what are other sports related companies? And I thought of Under Armour, and I thought of a player. So then I just added to my watch list. In terms of soccer, his name's Memphis Depay, and also for basketball, I thought of Steph Curry.
Yeah.
So, so I just had it on my watch list for a while, and I would always just wait for it to have a pullback. And my criteria is I wait for it to go below the EMA, below the SMA, and then obviously I don't trade it until it crosses both of those again. So I traded it. It was the beginning of this month, around the first week of August, which is
right around this channel
August
area?
3rd, around there. Yeah, so I waited for that, or waited for a good opportunity. So it pulled back a lot.
Due to earnings?
Yeah.
Due to earnings, we saw a pullback, broke below the SMA line, the EMA line, so it presented that good deal.
Yeah, and then I waited for it to cross both the SMA and the EMA line.
Wait for confirmation of an uptrend?
So I swing traded that one, I think it was for 5 days.
Okay, so then you wrote it up, decided to lock in profits, it pulled back once again, and now we're beginning to see a very consistent pattern where the SMA line almost acts as a very common support level, and then it pushes up to almost $12 a share, and then it pulls back from there, right?
Yeah, and then I swing traded again, or it was overnight swing trade, and then I did that again, so that was twice that I swing traded it.
Okay, so it looks like right now it's doing a lot of pullbacks to the EMA line. It looks like the market, let's be completely honest, the market right now is a little choppy. We just hit 180-day highs on NASDAQ, on Dow Jones, S&P 500, everything is thriving, but we're now starting to consolidate because we're so overextended. So if the overall market pulls back, then it only makes sense that companies like this will also pull back. So that's just something, of course, that we want to take into consideration, that it's great that you see value in this, but you want to understand also and be aware of and stay up to date with overall market direction. So if you see that the S&P, Dow Jones, or the NASDAQ is pulling back, that you at least do yourself a favor and set yourself up for success and maybe lock in profits. That's one of the things that I really like about Ismail, is that he does a very, very good job locking in profits, and it's not a lot of money, right? Because he's it's not like he's trading with $100,000 and he's making 20%. His focus is he knows that he's learning right now. He's messing around with about $1,000 to $2,000, and he will take his trades, and when he's green or he sees any indication of a resistance or a pullback, he locks it in. And one of the things that we try to preach within our Learn Plan Profit group is we make money in the stock market by selling early. On top of that, you try to day trade it, right?
Yeah.
And what do you? He does also a very good job that a lot of beginners lack in. As in, when I was first getting started, it was a big area of opportunity for myself, but you cut losses very quickly, right?
Yeah, that was for actually the second stock. That was for Bank of America.
Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about BAC. So this is Bank of America, and what or why was this one that caught your eye? Because there's JP Morgan, there's Bank of America, there's Wells Fargo. Why this?
It's the same concept of like how I found it. It's just like I was just thinking of places, and I was like, okay, I bank with Bank of America.
You do?
So, yeah.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna look into it. So again, I added it to my watch list, and then just waited for my criteria to pull back, and then for it to cross the EMA.
That was a really solid pullback because
Yeah.
it hit highs of $27, almost $28, right? Pulled back all the way back to the SMA line, so it meets your criteria on that. That was down 11%, and then you waited for the break above the EMA line.
Yep.
And now it's up from the break of since confirmation. It's up about 3.5%. It is showing a potential indication of a resistance. We could see that with the RSI indicator and the MACD, but again, it's just because the market, I think, is a little choppy right now. But the upside potential based off of previous highs is about 8 to 10%. So
Yeah.
did you close out your position already?
Yeah, so that was a overnight swing trade. It was from yesterday to today.
Okay.
I think it was 2% that I covered.
I like that. And think about it. It might not seem like a lot, especially because of the dollar amount that he's trading with. But with the dollar amount that I'm trading with, a 2% swing trade is $2,000, right? And it just puts it into perspective that regardless if you're just getting started or you're an advanced trader, the goal is to be able to scale. It's not to try to make the most money when you're just getting started, but to understand that consistency and gaining experience and confidence is so important because big picture, you're not trading what you could be trading with 5 or 10 years from now. So if he continues with the proper structure and discipline that he has right now, simply trading with $1,000 to $2,000, just imagine how consistent and how effective he can be 5 or 10 years from now when he can be trading with $25,000, $50,000. So you guys get the big picture, right? So it's put in the hard work today so your future self could thank you for. And the last one, I want you to talk about the one that you said that you were considering, but I want you to also talk about why you have not purchased it yet.
I'm gonna finish. This is the one where I day traded, so I don't know if you want me to explain that.
Yeah, let's do it.
So I got in at, it was $25.39. I locked in profits at $25.98 right before market open today.
Okay.
And then I thought, okay, I'm gonna try and day trade it, and I thought I bought the dip, but it kept going. I kept tanking. So I cut losses early. It was 2.2% was my swing trade, and I was like, I wanted to keep some of that profit, so I cut losses at 0.4%. I lost 0.4% on that day trade.
Okay. But you still made money on the swing trade.
Yeah, so I made more money on the swing trade than the day trade. So
Okay. And overall, again, market was pretty choppy today. It was first indicating, especially for Bank of America, showing signs of an uptrend. Then it began to make lower lows, lower highs, and then all of a sudden it broke back above the SMA line, the EMA line. And that's one of the things that, especially when you are under the PD2 rule, you just have to make sure you're a little bit more selective. So I like the approach that you're taking of not so much day trading, but more swing trading.
Yeah.
And you're not swing trading penny stocks, you're not swing trading even the ETFs that I trade. You're swing trading companies that are solid companies that are good deals based off of the your criteria, and that you see that the upside outweighs the downside. So I think that's a really good thing. And the last one that we want to talk about is
Chegg.
Oh, I thought you wanted to talk about Netflix.
Oh, I thought we were going over. Okay,
well, I want you to talk about the one that I want you to talk about the one that you originally saw value in, because Chegg is the one that I've been watching. I want you to talk about first why Netflix and why have you not bought into it yet? You have before, right?
Yeah, I have before.
Okay.
Yeah. So why Netflix? It's like a big company. It's overall in 180 days, it's always like consistently going up. I mean, obviously this past couple of months it's been more like horizontal in my eyes.
Yeah.
But again, I've just been waiting for the SMA to break above the SMA line. Is like the main reason why I have not gotten in.
Yeah, so one of the things that, just to kind of like elaborate a little bit more, Netflix, especially during the pandemic, saw two of its biggest quarters where it saw 10 million, if I'm not mistaken, new subscribers each quarter, which is absolutely huge if you actually think about the idea for Netflix. So it makes sense that as people were under quarantine and were spending more time at home, Netflix services were thriving. Because we've slowly been transitioning back into business, right, and getting back to work, I would see that, we potentially might have hit our peak already, and I think this is why Netflix, hit its peak about a month back, and like you said, it's been more horizontal for the past month, meaning that it's been consolidating and not really been making higher highs or higher lows. It's kind of like unclear where it's going. So I like that you're being selective, that yes, although it's a company that you use, right?
Yeah.
I like that you're at least, even as you're just getting started, so disciplined that because it's not above the EMA line, that you understand that it doesn't meet your criteria, so therefore you're holding yourself back. And this is something that I've said so many times before. It doesn't matter if Netflix were to shoot up tomorrow. It's you need to be and stay true to the idea of having your set list of criteria. And if a stock does not meet your criteria, regardless of how it ends up performing, you need to make sure that you stay disciplined to what makes sense to you and what doesn't. Because if you take a trade based off someone else's opinion, or because you're like, well, it's not above the SMA line, but I don't have any other day trades that I've taken today, so I'm just gonna buy this and swing trade it for tomorrow. But that relaxed approach and that like very open-ended approach, I can almost promise you, a lot of you probably have done it, right? I know I've done it before, where you have an open day trade, or you're like, man, I didn't take a trade today. We are here to take advantage of opportunities, and opportunities that meet our criteria. My criteria can be completely different than yours or yours. And it shouldn't be that who's right or who's wrong. It's that it is our job to learn from our mistakes, and the only way that we can learn from our mistakes is if we understand the position that we are putting ourselves in. And you will not understand the position that you put yourself in if you take trades that are based off of someone else's opinion. And that's the last thing that I want to leave you with. Is the whole purpose of this video is to encourage you, just like Ismail is putting his money into companies that I'm not trading. It's not, other companies that he's hearing other people talk about. It just comes down to the idea of where do you see value in specific stocks or companies, and putting your money when an opportunity presents itself. So he has, his criteria where he waits for a pullback down to the EMA line, the SMA line, and then he waits for confirmation. He tries to focus on getting it for a good deal, and then he'll hold it for a couple of days as long as the upside outweighs the downside. So now that Ismail has talked about the top stocks that he is focusing on right now, I think something that, if you guys see eye to eye in the criteria that he personally focuses on, then whatever stock it is that you're paying attention to, don't be afraid to comment that down below and see if other people that are watching this video also can agree with you. So I really do appreciate you guys' time. Again, if you guys want to see Ismail in another future video, just make sure you guys absolutely destroy that like button. Hopefully we can get a little bit over 1,000 likes. And also, we plan to feature the new HQ, the TechBuds HQ. We just bought a new commercial building in Chandler, Arizona. So if you guys want to see that video, just make sure you guys smash that like button. Hopefully we can get a little bit over 1,000 likes, and I will be sharing that video with you guys, if I'm not mistaken, on Saturday afternoon. So like always, guys, continue working hard, continue following dreams, let your passion be what drives your success. Don't forget to stay connected. You guys can join our free Facebook group with the first link down below. And if you guys have any questions for Ismail and how he is doing, you guys can follow him on Instagram with the second link down below. I appreciate you guys' time. And like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take it easy, team.